Look, you guys talked about, when these aren't producing electricity. Who are you going to, you're going to sign a contract with Sayo Gas and Electric or Sempra Energy, correct? We're trying to do that?
Yeah, we're not in a position, we're not allowed to
publicly
state
talk about that.
publicly who
We
our
will be announcing some of this in the next few weeks.
And in your contract, you'll be required to produce so much energy, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't produce that via wind, where are your load followers coming from?
How do they balance the energy?
No, where are you getting power?
we would be subject to penalties if we don't meet our.
Well, but the turbines aren't producing in order than we use backfeed power. So, Jones, you want to jump in?
I think he's saying, is there a minimum megawatts that we have to generate?
To maintain.
In a 24-hour period or a 365 day?
Whatever your contract calls.
We have in the power purchase agreement, it is standard, okay, that you have an estimate of what the amount of energy you're going to generate is.
Mm-hmm.
And that is just for planning, that the system operators use to try to figure out, how much is they're going to be having in the system. Then there's a contractual requirement to actually generate a percentage of that. So there's a, if you will, a buffer. Let's say if you say, we believe we'll generate X amount of megawatts, we may say that we must generate 70% of that, or have a contractual penalties that are very steep.
So you're not required to then source power from a load follower, gas-fired turbine to keep your contract?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. It's the utility that balance.
Yeah, the utility, I think Beth tried to address that, when you think about this, they think of it more as a holistic system, whole system, and they use different methods. So for example, coal facilities don't ramp up and down very well. It's very expensive to ramp them up and down, and it's actually disruptive. So they usually use those type of facilities and nuclear facilities as base loads. So they have kind of this chunk that's just always sitting there. And then they use natural gas fired generators, and then peakers, which are actually designed for instantaneous response in case there's an imbalance that occurs. For example, you had 2,000 megawatts of wind, all of a sudden the wind dies. I mean, they have got to be able to keep you can't have the lights going out in hospitals and stuff, or anywhere. So they have these things, and they work out what those requirements are, and they ramp things up and down based on their efficiency to do that. And then there's also dispatch priority based on the expense to the system to actually put that power on things. So, for example, wind energy there is no cost of fuel. Okay, so it will always be dispatched first. I mean, if wind is available, it will always be the first one to be producing. And they'll start to bring down natural gas to compensate that. And then the coal and all that stuff just sits there as what they call base load. So I hope it's a little complicated. And I'm not, by the way, I am not a world authority on this subject. I've learned this over the years, just thinking about markets. But that's the fundamental answer for you.
All right.